Good evening and welcome to this evening's meeting of the Borough Council, which is the annual meeting. This is also sometimes known as the mayor making meeting for reasons which will very shortly become clear. We have a large number of guests and dignitaries with us this evening. So I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. We are delighted that you are able to be with us tonight. May I also welcome members of the public who are watching the meeting either on YouTube or here in Hounslow House in the public gallery. Thank you for joining us this evening. May I now ask everyone present to make sure that their telephones are on silent mode. Also, may I remind all members that it is a long-standing rule in Hounslow that whilst the public may tweet during the meeting, councillor may not do so after the meeting has ended. Do all members have the agenda documents for tonight? Yes? We should all have the main agenda and a supplementary agenda which was published earlier today online. There is also an official photographer in attendance who will occasionally be taking photographs and various points of the proceedings. May I remind guests and journalists that they are also welcome to take photographs or film proceedings, but should refrain from using any flash photography during the meeting and should remain in their seats so as not to obstruct the meeting. There will be, of course, plenty of opportunities for pictures to be taken after the meeting. We will now move on to the first substantive item on the agenda, and I hope that everyone watching this meeting here in the chamber will have an enjoyable time, as this is usually one of the nicest meetings of the year. Agenda item 1, apologies for absence. I've got apologies from Councillor Samina Nagra, Councillor Amy Croft. Is there any other apologies? None? Okay.
For lateness, Councillor Mashiso.
Councillor Mashiso. Okay. May I draw members' attention to the document in the agenda on declaring interests? Is there any declaration of interest? None. Agenda item 2, members elected to the council. The first report is simply a request for members to note the outcome of the Brentford West by-election held on 2nd May 2024 and to welcome Councillor Emma Yates to her first council meeting. Many of us will know Councillor Yates already, but on behalf of all members across the council, I would like to welcome her to the council in her new role as elected member. We'll all look forward to working with you. Agenda item 3, announcements. We now move to announcements. I said a short while ago that this is usually a happy meeting, and our first 2 announcements this evening will underline that. Our first announcement carries on naturally from the news of the election of Councillor Emma Yates as our newest councillor, to our longest serving councillor, our friend and colleague, Councillor Jagdish Sharma, who recently achieved an incredible milestone in becoming the first Hounslow councillor to serve continuously for 50 years and as elected member of the council. Well done. I know that many members enjoyed the special civic event held on Friday, 10th May, to mark this achievement, and that many speeches were given on that occasion. But it is important for the council at this annual meeting also to recognize more formally Councillor Sharma's lifetime of dedicated public service. I therefore want to say just a few words to pay tribute to Jagdish at this meeting. Councillor Jagdish Rai Sharma, MBE, was first elected to the Council of the London Borough of Hounslow at the local government election held on Thursday, the 2nd May 1974. and he formally took office 4 days later on Monday, 6th May 1974, which means he has currently served without break of 50 years and 22 days so far. He was elected as one of the three Labour Party councillors in Hounslow Heath Ward, alongside the late councillors Mike Nichols and Baden Pierce, and he has remained a Hounslow councillor continuously since then. Reaching his half century in office earlier this month, he currently serves as a councillor in the Hounslow West Ward. Councillor Sharma was deputy leader of the council between 2002 and 2006, the leader of the opposition between 2006 and 10, and then leader of the council from 2010 until 2014. He was made an honorary freeman of the borough in 2000. The council salutes Councillor Sharma's remarkable achievement of 50 years continuous dedicated public service in the council and in the community, as well as the breadth and depth of his experience and knowledge, which has been an inspiration and support to generations of residents in Hounslow, across London and beyond. And as a small token of our appreciation, I would like to invite Councillor Sharma to receive a book of messages of congratulations and goodwill from member, officer, family, and friend. May I ask Jagdish Sharma to come? May I now invite Councillor Sharma to say a few words, please?
Mr. Mayor, colleagues, first of all, Mr. Mayor, thank you for your very kind words you have said about me. I think I was listening very carefully. They are all true. There's nothing has been. I think sometimes it's better to also just put something on top of that, then it looks perhaps nice. But so nice for all these words. And I would like also to thank most sincerely all the colleagues from both sides, both the leaders, because I couldn't say what I wanted to say there in the dinner. But still, you all were very good. It's a one-man is not show, though I got this 50 years completed. But it's not one-man show. It's a whole colleagues' contribution also, the members of the public also, who kept me for 50 years. I still didn't believe that it happened, but it happened. So thank you again, all of you. I'm not going to say too much because what I wanted to say, I said in the party. But I enjoyed that, my 50 years, as you have celebrated. Now I also believe that I did 50 years because you have celebrated. So nice of all of you, and also my constituents, because they was always very good. We had a simple formula or system that whenever my car is there, they are most welcome to come. And I'll certainly entertain them with a cup of coffee or tea. And so we went all right. So thank you very much again. I won't say much now.
Thank you, Constable Sharma. We look forward to working with you for another 50 years. We now move on to our second happy announcement, again about an old friend and colleague, Paul Lynch, or should I say, Honorary Alderman Lynch. Members will recall that Paul was sadly unable to attend the special meeting of the council where we created our first cohort of honorary aldermen and women, which was held on 5th March this year. As a result, he was not able to hear the delightful and warm speeches proposing and seconding him for his honor from councillors Gerald McGregor and Gabriela Giles, or to observe the unanimous vote to confer this honor to him and his fellow honorary aldermen and alderwomen, several of whom are with us tonight. And of course, it means he could not receive his formal certificate of his new status. Sadly, there is no time to repeat the speeches of praise to Paul and his family, Paul and his many qualities, although these can still be watched on Council's YouTube page. But we can give him his formal certification in the form of an illuminated scroll bestowing upon him the title of Honorary Alderman of the Borough. As such, it delights me to be able to invite Honorary Alderman Paul Lynch to the mayoral dais to be presented with his certificate. May I now ask? Okay. May I now invite Honorary Alderman Lynch to say a few words of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, the award of this honor and the kind things that have been said about me are very gratifying. But it does leave me with what they call imposter fear. I have a deep-rooted feeling that suddenly it'll be revealed that it's all a big mistake with hideous embarrassment all round. I'm sure that all councillors occasionally feel that if they're thanked by a resident for something that they haven't really done very much about, and by a person who only had what they're entitled to. And that of course, for councillors, is balanced by the times when, having achieved the impossible with supreme effort, one gets torn off a strip because that's not what the person wanted at all. And it's a difficult speech also to make because for the first time I find myself addressing this council without the intention of trying to change something, change people's minds, promote some policy, or just attack somebody. I've been trying to focus on a nice, gentle speech saying thank you, but it seems unnatural somehow. And I'm afraid of reverting to type and having a pop at someone. Saying, where is that Mel Collins? Perhaps before that happens, I could just pay tribute to some councillors of the past. I think it's worth us giving a thought to the memory of the late Frank Field, who started his career as a Hounslow councillor. I never actually met him, but I spoke to him a lot in the year that I was mayor. And a very good man he was. And not a councillor for very long here, but a visionary. And his proposals were just too radical. But one of his great distinctions, and unusual distinctions, was he was a very close friend of Margaret Thatcher. Many of you will remember also my great friend, the late Dr. Robert Kinghorn. He was a very great councillor, a very hardworking man with great capabilities taken from us far too early. And I don't know whether he might well have been your choice instead of me if he had still been with us. Still with us for many years, we all hope, is Councillor Jagdish Sharma, or as the leader tells us we must call him now, the leader tells us we must call him Uncle. And it was a great privilege to attend his celebration of 50 years as councillor. It was a very well-deserved tribute to a hardworking man. I must say, I had 11 uncles in my family. Only one of them measured up to Jagdish, and he was a bishop. It's been a great privilege to serve as mayor, to serve as a councillor, and to have been mayor of a community so full of contrasts and interests, with so much to learn. And I am proud to have learnt from those about me of how to be of service. And if I have added anything to this community, if anything remains what I have done, it's because of the teamwork of councillors and council officers. And I cherish the memories of many excellent and devoted people. And I echo one of the points as I conclude. I echo one of the points that Jagdish so ably made in his speech that evening of his 50th celebration. To make any kind of success in the role of councillor, it is a huge, huge help to have a close and loving family. I had that closeness and that love in abundance. My family are back there. And also, Jagdish was strong on this too, the sustenance of religious faith, with which I have struggled to retain all these years. So that concludes, Mr. Mayor. May I finish by saying, God bless you all.
Thank you, Alderman Lynch. We look forward to seeing you and your fellow honorary aldermen and women at the many future events where you will always be welcome. We conclude announcement this evening on a sadder note with the news of the death of two former councillors, Leslie Bond, JP, and Frank Field, Baron Field of Birkenhead. Former councillor Bond, known as Lee, was raised and lived in Hanworth for many years, working as a firefighter. He served as a councillor on two separate occasions, being elected as Labour councillor representing the Hanworth ward between 1990 to 1994, and then again representing the Feltham South ward between 1998 to 2002. He served as mayor of the borough in 1993 to 1994. Mr. Bond served on a number of committees during his time on the council, including Leisure Services Committee, the Employment Committee, the Pensioners Consultative Group, and the Transport and Cleansing Committee. He was also appointed to several outside bodies, including the Hanworth Village Hall Management Committee and the Southwest Middlesex Crematorium Board. Members may be interested to know that former councillor Bond was living at number 3, the Close in Twickenham Road, Hanworth in 1944, and subsequently wrote a memoir about the Nazi V1 Doodlebug flying bomb raid on Hanworth and Feltham, including on his house on 23rd March of that year. A copy of this memoir is in the Mayoral collection if any members would like to read it. I would now like to invite Councillor Richard Foote, who knew Mr. Bowen for many years, to say a few words tribute to him. Councillor Richard Foote.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I've been asked to pay tribute to my former Hamworth comrade, Les Bourne, who passed away recently, which I'm pleased to do. I first got to know Les as a member of Hamworth Labour Party back in the 1980s, where we worked together on elections and membership campaigns. Les was our man on Butts Farm, where we tramped the pavements together in campaigns and membership drives. But he didn't just restrict himself to Butts Farm, as he was active in all parts of Hamworth and was always ready to go to any part of Hounslow when he was needed. Les was a great comrade to campaign with, also showing a strong sense of humour on the doorstep. Something on wet and windy days that was very welcome. He could always be guaranteed to make a strong presence with the residents of Hamworth. Les and I also shared membership of Hamworth British Legion, where he was very active and could be found there on many days of the week, manning the door or helping with the cleaning of the premises. That was norm for Les. He gave much but asked for little in return. He suffered with his health in recent years, and his presence in the ward had been surely missed. The likes of Les are rare to be found in our public life and should never be forgotten. He was a strong servant of the people of Hamworth and will be remembered by many. I, for one, will be eternally grateful to him for his support he showed me over the years, and I am sure that he is shared by many residents of Hamworth. I shall miss you, comrade, and I'm sure I speak for many. The likes of you are few and far between.
Thank you, Councillor Foot. We now recall the late Frank Field, famous for most of his life as a member of Parliament in both the House of Commons and then later in the House of Lords. But fittingly, after so many of our earlier announcements, we will remember him for his work on the council at its very beginning. Former Councillor Frank Field was one of the first generation of Hounslow councillors, having been elected to the London Borough of Hounslow on 7th May 1964. This was the body that began as a shadow authority for 1 year until it formally became the council from 1965. Mr. Field served as a Labour councillor in the Turnham Green ward for one term from 1964 until 1968, living in Dukes Avenue and then Barrowgate Road during that period. During his time on the council, he was appointed as a member of the Children Committee, the Consumer Protection Committee, and the Housing Committee. After leaving the council, Mr. Field was elected to Parliament in 1979, representing the constituency of Birkenhead, eventually becoming a Minister of State in the 1997 Labour government under Harriet Harman. The Social Security Secretary. More recently, he sat in the House of Lords, where he was ennobled as Baron Field of Birkenhead and where he remained a figure of national renown. Now, on behalf of all members, I would like to extend our thoughts and condolence to the late former councillor Les Bourne and Frank Field's family and friends and all who knew them. We will now stand for 1 minute silence. Thank you. Be seated, please. And that concludes an announcement for today. Next agenda item Constitutional Review, Tranche 1. We now move to the item 4. I would like to start by expressing my thanks to both group leaders who have very kindly confirmed where there is cross-party support for a number of items on the agenda tonight. This is very much in the positive spirit of the annual meeting, and I'm grateful to them both for their cooperation. I would like, therefore, to suggest that we go straight to the vote. May I ask if members are happy with this? Thank you. So can we go for the vote for the 4 recommendation? Show of hands. Okay. So unanimously agreed.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
My councillor.
Is it? Is everyone happy with it? Okay. Yeah, I didn't see anyone, Thank you. Agenda item 5. Notification of appointment of the deputy leader and the cabinet. We move on to agenda item 5, which is the notification of the appointment of the deputy leader and the cabinet. As you will know, the council constitution in Hounslow operates on the strong leader model, which means that Councillor Shantanu Rajwat was elected leader of the council for 4 years. As such, he gets to pick his own deputy leader, cabinet, and decides the portfolios. As such, member will see in their supplementary agenda that there is a document detailing the leader's appointment for 24-25. I now invite Councillor Rajawat to speak to introduce the item. Councillor Rajawat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Before I move on to the formal item on the agenda, I think I got confused in announcements. I do have an announcement in the spirit of some happy news, and I completely endorse the words around Councillor Emma Yates, Councillor Sharma, and Honorary Alderman Lynch. Before I move on to talk to this, it does bring me great pleasure to be able to announce to Council that Councillor Kuldeep Tuck has now joined the Labour Party this evening. Welcome to you, Councillor Tuck. So, and this is a theme for our administration, working for our communities, transforming services and delivering for residents based on our corporate plans that we were so unanimously elected on with such a thumping majority and will be again in 2026. And we have spent 2 years working on our plans, working through our plans, and I've discussed them at length with Councillor Tuck as well, and he agrees we are on the right track, and our cabinet reflects that desire to work tirelessly for our residents and continue delivering not just short-term change, but long-term sustainable change that delivers a better service for our residents and a better outcome for our residents as well. And I do believe I've got absolutely the right team, as in the table papers there. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank one member of the Cabinet last year who is this year retiring, Councillor Guy Lambert. Guy, thank you very much for everything that you did on your time at Cabinet. Under your leadership and stewardship, we saw the recycling rate go up. We saw a relentless focus on the Lambton businesses as well, which are going from strength to strength. There's still more work to be done. Plus, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on Cabinet and have your opinions as well. So whilst you are retiring from Cabinet, I know you're not very far away and you will keep me honest, I'm sure, with your opinion. This is not an easy time. We don't know what the outcome of the general election will be. However, this Labour group, this Labour Party continues to provide leadership where there is none, provide services where others would cut, and to support not only the most vulnerable, but every resident in this borough. We are going to deliver our pledges. We are marching forward. Bring on 2026. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rajwat. Councillor Turk, welcome on board.
No, Mr. Mayor,
All right,
that's
okay,
fine.
all right. Okay, okay. Agenda item 6.
Yes, we will.
We now move on to agenda item 6. May I remind members of the table paper contained nomination to committees. Again, I want to thank the two group leaders for confirming they support this item, and so may I suggest we go straight to the vote. Shall we go to the vote?
Councillor Thompson.
Yes,
Mr. Mayor, I do apologise. Which item was this?
that's item 6, agenda item 6.
Item 6. Thank you. Again, sorry, just I'm not normally this organised, but something's just happened. It's just taken me slightly by surprise. With item 6, can we make a change, obviously, because and change our membership of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee? Saves us having to do it at the next Borough Council. So obviously, it's not Councillor Tuck anymore; it's Councillor Giles.
Okay, yeah. Can I ask?
Sorry.
Can I
quick
ask
point of-
Niall to respond to that?
Thank you very much, Councillor Thompson. In the substantive agenda item, you can see any subsequent amendments required to the proportionality can be taken forward with by me if members agree under the council's rules. So that will be taken forward in due course, if that's okay with you. No, that's fine. You've had a surprise. So we can do that after the meeting.
Thank you, Chief Executive. Okay, so we got 4 recommendation. Can we do a show of hands, please? So is carried. So recommendation approved. Thank you. Agenda item 7. Appointment to outside bodies 2024-2025. We move on to the appointments to outside bodies again. You will find that the latest nomination have been tabled and this document should be before you. Again, we have cross-party support for this item, and so may I suggest we go straight to the vote. May I ask members if they're happy? And agreed, okay. That's good, quick one. So that's approved. Agenda item 8. Election of mayor and appointment of deputy mayor. The last main item of business tonight is the election of the mayor of the London Borough of Hounslow for the municipal year 2024-2025. Members will find this as page 108 in their agenda papers. May I invite Councillor Shantanu Rajwat to propose a nomination.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It gives me absolutely great pleasure to formally nominate Councillor Karen Smith to be Mayor of Hounslow for this municipal year. That's exactly the smile I wanted. So Karen, this is the bit where I talk about you. As you may or may not know, Councillor Smith has lived in Hounslow all her life. I hope this is all correct. And actually does know the borough and the issues facing it like the back of her hand. She served as a volunteer for many years, both working with local primary schools and home-educated children and families. I didn't know this. Found this out in 2013. Councillor Smith received the Jack Petchey Award for her services. Well done, you. Since being elected as ward councillor for Hounslow South in 2018, Councillor Smith has continued this valuable work with the local communities in and around Hounslow South and the borough more widely, listening and acting on the concerns of local people, and in doing so, contributed so positively to the future of our borough. And as always, with Councillor Smith, has done it with a warmth that makes me proud to call her a colleague here in the chamber. And on a personal note, I know Councillor Smith is a passionate social campaigner. She believes passionately about stamping out social inequality. And I have absolutely no doubt that she will use her mayoral year to champion those causes. And I know we're going to hear from your nominated charity in just a little bit later as well. And it's all of that, when you put it together, strong community service spirit, that make Councillor Smith a fantastic candidate for First Citizen of the Borough. And I absolutely look forward to working with you to advance this borough even further. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rajwat. May I now invite Councillor Tom Bruce to second the proposal.
Absolutely. It gives me great pleasure to second this nomination and to nominate Karen to second the nomination for Karen as mayor for the next municipal year. I remember at school when we used to have events, I don't know, various performances, and the mayor would come and it would lift that performance. It would lift that event enormously, because everyone saw that the mayor encapsulates and embodies the civic pride about Hounslow. They demonstrate the warmth for the borough that they have, and they show that the great qualities that are needed to be mayor in how we all love where we live in Hounslow, and how we all take great pride in the friends and family that we have in this borough. Now, I've known Karen for about 10 years, first as a Labour activist and social campaigner, as Councillor Rajwat said, and then for the past 6 years as a ward colleague. And it now gives me great pleasure to be able to call her my friend as well. And what I've seen over that time is that Karen fully embodies all those qualities that Councillor Rajwat and I have just talked about. And that will make her a fantastic mayor. She's hardworking and determined. She is passionate about her community, passionate about Hounslow, and stands up for those most vulnerable in society. Therefore, once again, it gives me great pleasure to second Karen and her nomination to be mayor next year. I know you're going to do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. I now need to see if there are any other nominations. I understand that Councillor Ron Moshisho would also like to speak to. So may I invite him to do so?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Yes, what a great surprise that we are here again, and we've got the same. I've got the same speech lined up for my friend and colleague, Councillor Ranjit Gill, the Lion of Punjab. That's not a surprise at all. In fact, I had written a speech that was slightly different to tonight's speech, but after I learned that it's been leaked to Brentford TV, I decided to change it and go back to my original plan of the Lion of Punjab. My second speech, or my first speech, in fact, was supposed to be about the silver fox of Hounslow Heath, Councillor Ranjit Gill. And and the thing about a silver fox, foxes don't grow in safaris, my friend. Foxes are urban animals, full of different skills, different facets of maneuverability, and that's exactly what we'll be getting with the Mayor Ranjit Gill. The silver fox indeed. He always tells me, or tells us, that all Labour councillors love him. There you go, Mr. Mayor. So if you love him this much, why not make him mayor tonight? If you really do love him this much. Otherwise, I would think perhaps, Mr. Mayor, all Labour councillors say one thing and then mean quite another. Well, well, you know me. What I would have said, instead of what Councillor Gill told us, what I would have said is something like, well, you know, I have one or two friends on the opposite side of the aisle, but not Councillor Gill. He says it as it is. And that's exactly what you'd be getting as a mayor. Someone that is honest, someone that is well-traveled, someone that can use his experiences to really make this borough a great place to live. He has so much wisdom. And why not, after the 5th time of asking, can the Labour administration and the Labour members show their love and appreciation for the silver fox of Hounslow Heath?
Thank you, Councillor Mashishu. May I now invite Councillor Gabriela Giles to second the proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to second the nomination of Ranjit Gill. And I have to apologise, I haven't really prepared a full speech, but I think as our silver fox of Hounslow Heath, and as a long-term resident of the borough, he has become very aware of the issues that we're all facing at the moment and would be a great advocate. At the last time I spoke at one of our ceremonial meetings, I spoke about the importance of cross-party work. And I think when we were in charge in the last decade, we shared that role between our mayors, and we were lucky enough to be grateful for the encouragement of that cross-party working. And so it is a regret, maybe, not one of ours, that that this hasn't been seen as a magnanimous council. We've had heckling today, which I can understand there's a lot of excitement in the chamber, but it would be very nice to have a little bit more cohesion in Hounslow rather than political point scoring. And on that note, I second the amendment. The motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Giles. We now have 2 highly respected candidates for the position of mayor. I will therefore be taking both nominations together and will allow a short time for any member to speak in support of one or another if they wish. I'm sure that all comments will be positive and non-partisan on this happy occasion. So may I suggest that 2 members for each candidate? Is it? Okay. All right. If that's the case, that's fine. Good. Okay. Okay. So we now going for the formal vote. We have 2 excellent candidates this evening for the role of mayor in 2024-2025. So may I ask members to vote with a show of hands for the candidate they would like to be elected. I will first ask for a vote for the Conservative proposal, Councillor Gill. Conservative member, please, anyone vote? Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, done? Yeah, okay. Okay, done. Thank you.
10.
10.
I'm against.
Okay, against? Okay. Okay.
Abstention.
Abstention.
That's lost.
So the decision is lost, yeah? Thank you. I confirm that, Councillor. Now, can I ask for votes for Councillor Karen Smith? Against? Against?
Abstain.
Abstain? Thank you. Thank you. I confirm that Councillor Karen Smith has been elected as Mayor of the London Borough of Hounslow for the municipal year 2024-2025. May I now invite the new mayor to sign the declaration of acceptance of office. May I now invite the chief executive to address the council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Deputy Mayor for the municipal year 2024 to 2025 will be, pardon me, Councillor Mohammed Shakil Akram, under the provisions of Schedule 2 of the Local Government Act 1972.
There will now be a short adjournment. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be ready and upstanding for the Mayor of Hounslow and the Mayor's Party.
I'd just like to thank everyone for electing me mayor. I'll be talking a bit later about my plans for the year. I look forward to working with all members from all parties. Although the voting went a different way, I'd also like to pay tribute to the other candidate, Councillor Ranjit Gill. Who I know would also have made a fine mayor, and I would like to extend my warmest wishes to him. We now move to the vote of thanks for Councillor Afzal Kiani. As the previous mayor, as you all know, it's a tradition for the original proposer and seconder of the outgoing mayor from a year ago to propose and second the vote of thanks. The person who nominated him last year was Councillor Shantanu Rajawat, so I would now like to invite him to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Red does really suit you. Congratulations once again, but enough about you. This is a opportune moment to offer thanks to the outgoing mayor, Councillor Afzal Kiani, who I think everyone across the chamber will agree has done his community, our residents proud by encompassing everything that is the best of our borough. Now, over the course of his mayorship, Councillor Kiani has attended 252 events. I struggle with 2 events, not just 252, and he's still got a smile on his face. Well done. But also, as well as that, has done a fantastic job raising awareness for his charities, the Al Mustafa Welfare Trust and CW+. Now, those that have done it before, and I'm sure, Madam Mayor, you will also feel this, being the first citizen of the borough is hard. It does test your resilience and is a very challenging job. But having watched Councillor Kiani over the last year, he has done the job with such good grace, kindness, and always with a smile on his face. Now, every mayor does things slightly differently, but the thing that, and not belittling any other mayor that has done it differently before, but the thing I really liked about Councillor Kiani's mayoralty is that he took the opportunity to have small groups in the mayoral parlour and really take the time to understand them, be they community groups, be they charities, be they individuals. What was their motivation? Why was Hounslow such a special place for them? What often when I was in the room, what could be done better as well would often come out. And I think that is to your credit, Councillor Kiani, because whilst everyone came to see the mayor, actually that advances the cause of the borough and the fabric of our borough, which is so, so important. It would be remiss of me not to thank the support that the mayor has had, and I'd like to pay tribute to a wonderful deputy mayor in Councillor Harley Natwal here, who has done such a fine job supporting and also championing the mayoralty and the borough in her time. And of course, they do say behind every great man is a woman, and it would be wrong of me not to pay tribute to Councillor Kiani's wife, who has been with him and every step of the way, really been a great First Lady of the Borough. Thank you for all your work and your family as well. So, Councillor Kiani, thank you for all your work for our residents and the communities across Hounslow. You've been a tireless advocate for Hounslow Council, and I greatly appreciate your brilliant chairmanship of Borough Council. And I know that if I need any help with procedural motions, you are the man to come to, especially when Councillor Elmsley is involved. I do really look forward to working with you. Thank you for everything you have done. And I look forward to having you back on our side. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rajawat. I would now like Councillor Catherine Dunn to second the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. It's my pleasure to second the vote of thanks to Councillor Kiani for his year of service as the Mayor of Hounslow. I often spoke to Councillor Kiani. We used to bump into each other around this area here. He'd be going in and out of his office, and I'd usually be going to the ladies' loo. And when we spoke to each other, he would tell me what he'd been up to. And he really was having a wonderful year. When I last spoke to him in that spot by the ladies' loo, there's a lot of people embarrassed by that, aren't there? He told me that he had had a wonderful year, but that he was looking forward to having a bit of a rest. And it really must be wonderful to take part in so many events and activities and meet so many people from our great borough. I've been informed that Councillor Kiani attended 252 events, we all have now, over the last year, and that really is quite something. One that stands out to me is when we both attended the Chiswick Pier to watch the Great River Race in September. The sun was shining, the boats were impressive. I was recently back on my feet after my injury, and everyone wanted a picture of the mayor in his robes. And by that time, he would have done many of those 252 events already, and it would have been, something that happened quite frequently. But he was genuinely pleased to talk to those people, to have his photograph taken. Councillor Kiani is a warm and genuine person, and that personality shines through whenever you have the chance to talk with him. I'm also told that Councillor Kiani attended 17 citizenship ceremonies during his term as mayor, and having attended one this morning myself, I know just how meaningful they are for the new UK citizens who attend them. And that's whether those are recent arrivals to our country or people who have lived here their whole lives but are just receiving their British citizenship. So my role this morning was to welcome and congratulate the new citizens, which is something that the mayor would often do. I tried to emulate the mayor. I wore a red jacket, but I don't think it was quite the same. So I'd like to thank you again, Councillor Kiani, for your service. I hope you enjoy the rest. but you're not getting it just yet because we've got an election to win first.
Thank you, Catherine Dunn. Sorry, Councillor Catherine Dunn. And of course, I know all members would also like to thank Councillor Harleen Atwell here and Councillor Kiani's wife, Rifat, who were Deputy Mayor and Mayoress over the year. They have provided great support to the Mayor during his time in office and themselves added to the dignity and reputation of the mayoralty. I'd now like to give an opportunity if anyone would like to say a few words to speak about Councillor Kiani's time in office. Okay, Councillor McGregor.
It's a great tribute to Councillor Kiani that we all embrace him and enjoy his company. Where's the comms team? Yeah, okay. So it's a great pleasure to say something about Councillor Kiani, who was hugely helpful. I had with me a fundraiser from Pakistan, and the fundraiser was raising money for various charities, including the Indus Valley flood relief. Councillor Kiani saw us both and was extremely kind. Then when my guest said he would like to meet someone at the English end of a Pakistan charity, Councillor Kiani immediately picked up the phone, spoke to a cafe in Hounslow High Street, and 10 minutes later, we had a meeting with one of the key people in Pakistan relief charities here in London who happened to live in Hounslow. It was down to Councillor Kiani. At the end of that meeting, we pushed ourselves back up to the mayor's office, and Councillor Kiani was equally generous. Photographs, G-Jaws, you know, the sort of stuff, the stuff in the badge here and, you know, the sort of stuff. It goes down so well. And I know subsequent to that, that the two ends of that particular rope, London and Karachi, have done very well. And it's down to you and your thought and your care. I'd also like to add something about the Deputy Mayor, who has carried out her duties hugely well this year. Now, she's a great friend of mine, so I won't hide that. But the important point about it is she carries herself very well and she represents Hounslow very well indeed. And I'm delighted that she's enjoyed her year. And I'm delighted that she was able to support Councillor Kiani in the way that a mayor needs to be supported. Thank you so much, both of you, for your year in office.
Thank you, Councillor McGregor. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, thank you. In which case, I'd like to invite Councillor Kiani to receive his badge in recognition of his service as Mayor. Oh, sorry. So first we come to the vote. It has been moved and seconded that a vote of thanks will be recorded for Councillor Afzal Kiani for his service as Mayor in 2023-24. Is this agreed? Agreed. Thank you. I will now ask Councillor Kiani to come and receive. So I'd now like to invite Councillor Kiani to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Councillor Rajawat, Councillor Dunn, and Councillor McGregor for the kind words they have said regarding me. Thank you very much. I feel deeply privileged and grateful to have served as the Mayor for the London Borough of Hounslow in 2023-2024. This has been an unforgettable, once-in-a-lifetime experience, filled with wonderful events and special occasions celebrated across our vibrant community. Over the past year, I have attended numerous events throughout the borough. One key takeaway from this experience is the importance of diversity, which is essential for our borough's success. We must cherish our different cultures, religions, and ethnicities. Reflecting on my year, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to several individuals and groups who have supported me. Rosie Prescott, Deputy Lieutenant, Councillor Shantanu Rajawat, leader for his unwavering support, Councillor Catherine Dunn, Leader of Opposition Peter Thompson, and my Deputy Mayor, Councillor Harleen Atwal, Councillors Samia Chaudhary and Farhan Rahman for managing my ward duties during my mayoral tenure. All councillors from both sides of the chambers, members of Parliament, Ruth Cadbury and Seema Malhotra for their guidance and support. I'm also grateful for my chosen charities, Al Mustafa Welfare Trust and CW Plus, and hope that my efforts have raised awareness for these worthy causes. A special thank you goes to my colleagues in the London Borough of Hounslow, Chief Executive Niall Bolger, Head of Democratic Services Thomas Ribbets, Jack for his photography support, Tim for event management, Gary for his tireless work in providing AV support. I owe a big thank you to my wife Rifat and my children for their unwavering support and understanding throughout this year. Additionally, I'm grateful to Councillor Adesh Farmahan for accompanying me to many events. Councillor Farmahan, your support has been invaluable. Last but not least, special thank you to the team members, services, especially Carol and Nicole, for their constant help and guidance. Thank you. Can I now invite Councillor Adesh to receive a small thanks token from me? Councillor Adesh. I now invite Carol. Carol has provided wonderful support to me during my marriage year. May I now invite Nicole for wonderful support throughout the year. Sorry. Now we are playing a short video to reflect my mayoral year. So.
London Borough Council and Lahore Cantonment Board were declared to in September 1999. Traditionally, every British Pakistani elected mayor of Hounslow wished to visit Lahore. So, unopposed elected mayor of London Borough Hounslow and son of the soul of Pakistan, Mr. Afzal Kiani, decided to visit Pakistan. He and his delegation, cabinet member Samia Chaudhry and Councillor Barrister Riaz Gul, arrived in Lahore. Mayor Afzal Kiani, along with his delegation, met the Governor of Punjab, Mr. Baliur Rahman, at the Governor House. Mr. Mayor went to Data Darbar and fulfilled his spiritual thirst and got satisfaction. He laid a wreath on the shrine and offered Fatiha. Mayor Afzal Kiani visited his native town, Khanpur. He went to the local cemetery where he saw the graves of his parents and ancestors. He recited the Fatiha and laid flower on the graves. Mr. Mayor also went to the Major Jamil School where the children warmly welcomed him. Later, he visited Major Jamil's beautiful, attractive. He went for the paragliding and motor boating to Khanpur's lake and enjoyed much.
Councillor Kiani. I'd now just like to say a few words about my plans for the year. I'd like to start by extending my thanks to everyone for being here tonight. To be elected Mayor of the London Borough of Hounslow is an enormous honour to me, and I would personally like to welcome the following people: the Deputy Lieutenant, Rosie Prescott, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mohammed Shakil Akram, who will be working alongside me during my term of office. Our free men and free women, aldermen and alderwomen who are here as honourable guests. My fellow members of the council from all parties, and the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Afzal Kiani again, Councillor Shantanu Rajawat, the leader of the council, and the cabinet. I'd like to thank our two respected members of Parliament, Ruth Cadbury and Seema Malhotra, and Niall Bolger, the Chief Executive of the Council, and his entire team, my colleagues and friends in the community, and my family members, in particular my husband David, my son Keir, and his partner Ranjod. I would also like to thank my fellow ward councillors, Councillor Tom Bruce and Councillor Sayar Raza, and of course Hounslow South residents for their continuous support. I cannot express enough thanks and gratitude to my husband David for his selfless support, and with that in mind, it's my great honour to announce that I've selected David to be my consort alongside me during my mayoral term. To be first citizen of the borough, being the face of Hounslow, is a huge honour. The role continues a great British tradition of local governments, which carries many responsibilities both here in the council chamber and in the community. I'm passionate about using my term of office to be representative of all the people of Hounslow, and I will try to maintain the cultural and traditional values of the borough through the notions of harmony, respect, equality and fairness. I will also do my best to chair council meetings effectively and fairly. and ensure that we are all guided in what we do here by the spirit of wanting to serve all our residents. I'd like to touch upon the importance of charitable and community work being undertaken by a great number of local social groups and charities. I am grateful to all of those committed organisations of all sizes, big and small, for their great and valuable work. In line with the mayoral tradition, I would like to announce my chosen mayoral charity for the year as Hounslow Community Food Box. Hounslow Food Box is a charity who work with residents across the borough, giving food support and advice to those who need it. I would rather there was no need for food banks, but while people are going hungry, Hounslow Food Box is there to provide an essential service to residents. I would be grateful if you could all help me to support this fantastic charity by raising awareness of the wonderful work they do, and where you can by donating generously, starting tonight at the reception which will follow. Ladies and gentlemen, with your support during my term in the mayoral office, I hope I'll be able to continue on the course of all my predecessors in this important role and work for the betterment of residents of the borough together. Thank you. I would now like to invite Alderwoman Smart to speak about the food box.
I do apologise. My knees are not allowing me to stand tonight very well, so I do apologise for that. Good evening. And for once, I do have a prepared speech, so I do apologise for the one I didn't have before. So good evening to the Deputy Lieutenant, Madam Mayor, our leader, councillors, the Honourable Aldermen and women who are present, Ruth Cadbury and Seema Malhotra MPs, and also council officers and honoured guests. As chair of the trustees of the Hounslow Community Food Box, it's fantastic that Mayor Councillor Karen Smith has nominated our charity as her charity for the mayoral year. There is much excitement in our organisation as our volunteers know how special this year will be now, raising awareness and donations, both in kind and monetary. Food Box is an independent food bank set up in 2012 and started delivering emergency food for those in need from April 2013, a project that became a charity. We are primarily a volunteer-run registered charity. The service was set up in response to the rising numbers of people facing poverty in London Borough of Hounslow. The inspiration for developing a service to provide emergency food, support, advice, and volunteering opportunities enabling people to get back into work was the vision of Councillor Steve Curran, now the Honourable Alderman Steve Curran, MBE, who did become the leader of the council in 2014, and also Councillor Ruth Cadbury, currently MP for Brentford and Isleworth. A start-up grant and premises were originally provided by the council, and their continued support has proved invaluable. As Ruth Cadbury has said, in the 21st century, food banks like Food Box shouldn't be needed. But as they are, I thank all those who donate and volunteer at Food Box, supporting those in need in the borough without money to buy life's essentials. As an independent food bank, we are flexible and agile, reflecting the feedback and changing needs of both the clients we support and our referral partners. Working with key partners ensures we can provide emergency food and signpost to those seeking support and advice to additional services in the borough. At Food Box, we are proud of the personal and confidential services we offer to anyone in need of help and support. We work across the London Borough of Hounslow, from Chiswick to Bedfont, and all bus stops in Hounslow in between, which reminds me of the wonderful support we receive from Brentford FC, as well as many businesses and organisations throughout London Borough of Hounslow. At the reception following this meeting, please do visit our awareness table to learn more about us. Sunny, one of our operations manager, will be on hand to answer any questions you may have, along with our Vice Chair, Councillor Guy Lambert, and myself. I'll be floating around as well. Once again, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Hounslow Community Food Box volunteers are all very excited to meet you. And some of those who've already met you are really excited to carry on meeting you and looking forward to our year, the year ahead. I do hope you enjoy your year as much as I did mine many years ago. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderwoman Smart. We're now coming towards the end of the meeting, so I would like to remind members that we all supported a motion to promote civility in public life, and that starts here in this chamber. As you know, we will all be involved in many important and serious debates and discussions on issues which affect the lives of all of us and our residents. And whilst we may disagree on how to achieve our hopes for the borough, we can all agree that we can be respectful and polite in debates. And as Mayor, I will strive to ensure that we all do that, and I ask you in return to play your part too. I would also like to invite members and guests to the small reception that I have arranged for after this meeting. So we now reach item 9 on the agenda, and I can confirm there are no urgent matters.
Sorry, Madam Mayor. Sorry, before you close the meeting, can I first of all just congratulate you, because nobody else has actually said anything in terms of you becoming mayor. So let me first of all congratulate you, and also congratulate you from the Workers' Party, and that you become mayor. And okay, thank you. I know as a past mayor that you will enjoy your mayoral year, and you will do the London Borough of Hounslow proud in terms of conducting yourself. I do, however, implore that as a mother and as a councillor with a voice, that you do take it upon yourself, because I know that Tom Bruce did mention that you spoke up for the downtrodden and the minorities. I implore you with folded hands that you speak on the atrocity that is happening in Gaza, and that you speak for those people who have no voice. Can I ask you if you could do that? Thank you very much.
I will not be doing that this evening. Thank you. Sorry. May I ask members to note the date of the next meeting of the council, which will be Tuesday, the 23rd of July, 2024. This meeting will commence at 7:30 p.m. and take place in the council chamber. I look forward to seeing you all here. Thank you all for being here tonight and attending the meeting. I would like all members and guests to stay for the mayoral reception if they're able to. And I'd just like to remind any members who haven't yet signed the attendance book that they should do so. That brings this meeting to a close. Thank you.